right, we're going to go ahead and get started here with the first edition of a live Massena football coaches show. We have got 3 different guests with us tonight. We're going to be talking Massena Raider football. So if you're a Massena Raider football fan, you're going to love this. If you're not a Massena Raider football fan, I'm sorry. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and get things started here. I'm going to introduce our special guest tonight. We have got to my right, Athletic Director Gavin Regan with us tonight. Let's clap it up for Gavin.
Oh, yeah.
Next to Gavin, we have got JV head football coach Ed Latham. Let's clap it up for Ed. And down at the end here, we have got line coach Casey Simonds for the varsity football team. Let's clap it up for Casey. And we're going to get things started here, I do believe, by talking with our good friend Gavin Regan, the athletic director for Massena Central. Gavin, you were kind of the person that gave me the green light to do this, and also want to thank Bill Fiacco and everybody here at the Gristmill Brewery for allowing us to have a location to do this, because while it is fun talking Massena Raider football anywhere, we did not want to do this from the street. So we want to thank everybody at the Gristmill Brewery. So let's clap it up for them. So, Gavin, with this being the first edition of the live Massena Football Raiders Coaches Show, give us your thoughts on the season so far and what you've really liked from the team.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good things to like about, Massena football every year, but just to echo what you're saying, I'd be remiss if I didn't start off with thanking Bill and his staff here. Wonderful establishment, great place to be, and big supporters of Massena Athletics, so we really appreciate Bill hosting us. I think this is just a great opportunity for people in Massena and the surrounding area to get to know our players, our staff, and our community football people better. So I think it's a great opportunity for everybody. Our superintendent, you say I gave the green light, but our superintendent Ron Burke said, hey, he thinks it's a great idea, and I said to Bill earlier, he's going to try to make one of these. He had a meeting tonight and gives his regards, but he thinks it's an awesome thing for our athletes and our community. But talking about our football team, I mean, it starts with our staffs. I'm lucky here in Massena, the 8 years that I've been here, we have a lot of consistency in our coaching staff, and that breeds well for our players and for our community. Taylor Zappia with leading our varsity staff, Ed with our JVs, and bringing back Anthony D'Agostino with our modified. These are all guys that have been, Massena guys, Massena players, and have been here for years, and they know the expectations that I have for them and the community have. So it's just awesome, and these head coaches have brought wonderful people along with them that are, Massena people or outside the Massena area that have played sports and played football. And, we hold our teams and our coaches and our players to high standards. So I'm really pleased with our staff. Hey, we've had a couple bumps in the road with our teams, but hey, it's early. On our varsity level, 2 out of our first 3 games are non-league, and that's what we try to do. We try to get those non-league games in and play really, really good caliber teams. Beekmantown is a very, very good team we'll play this weekend, but it gives us the opportunity to measure where we're at right now in this part of the season and going forward to work on things, because as I've said to you a number of times and our coaches, I expect our athletes to have a great time playing. I expect them to have fun, but the expectations are we win.
Right.
So those don't have to be, you can do both. And that's what our expectations are in Massena, for us to win and the athletes to be good students, good community members, and do the right thing.
So Gavin, I'll have you hold on to this microphone, my friend, while I turn this up just a tad so that everybody can hear you.
Okay.
My question for you while I hand this to you is, you have a lot of folks who graduated from Massena who are now coaching for Massena. What does that mean to you as the athletic director to see people not just coming back for like a reunion, but really investing that blood, sweat, and tears into the program?
Turn that up.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important, because we have coaches that live in the community, are part of the community. but they also know what it is to be a Massena athlete. So they know what the expectations are, and they've played for some great coaches that we've had here in Massena over the years. So I think it's invaluable to have people from Massena or that have been in the district a long time to help coach our program. So I just think it's great for our athletes to have that tie to the community, and coaches that have either been in the district for a very long time and have lived here a long time, or have been part of the Massena High School graduating class.
And Gavin, as far as, scheduling these non-league opponents, you and I talk about this so much on the radio that you already kind of answered the question before I could ask it, but that's okay. So as far as the non-league games are concerned, I understand that people look at it and they go, why are we playing this team? Why are we playing that team? But again, that's all about, your philosophy about making sure that we're ready for when the games, I hate to say when they really matter, because they all matter, but when those games really count against whether your season continues or not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I liken it to anything in school. And I say it a number of times, hey, I'm not going to have a student just study algebra all year long if they're taking a Calc Regents or something like that. You've got to prepare against great competition for the expectation at the end of the year to be ready to play whoever you want to play. It doesn't do us any good to beat a team by 70, points and then lose when it matters at the end. I'd rather us to have to struggle to win at the beginning against really good competition, so we're rolling when it gets to sectionals and playoffs and intersectional games. So that's our philosophy. Play the best teams out there we can to prepare for the end of the season.
All right, Gavin, I got 2 more questions for you, then we'll toss it over to our JV head coach, Ed Latham here. So, Gavin, second to last question for you, my friend. When you're scheduling these out-of-league contests, how does that work, and what's the relationship like with Beekmantown? Because I know that we've played there before, but not played them. So what's that relationship like, and how do those games come together?
Well, I mean, just for Beekmantown, for example, I know Justin Frechette, their athletic director, very well. Actually coached some bit in hockey. So it's just like anything. It's around relationships and, looking for relationships, but also looking against great competition. So that's what we're out there trying to do. We played Saranac Lake at the beginning of the year, and that's something that's been going on for years and years before I even got to Massena. So we're just out there with, talking to our coaches, saying, hey, who's good in other sections? And it's not something we're doing, 2 weeks in advance. We're doing it years in advance to see what our schedules potentially be in a bye week to line up a great competition.
All right, and the last question I have for you, Gavin, as far as this season is concerned, it is unique. You got 5 road games to just 3 home games. So what is your message to Raider Nation as we get ready for this long trip out to Beekmantown?
I would say that, it's been great for us to play some really good competition on the road, right? We're going to go on the road 3 weeks in a row. But the best part about it is 2 out of those 3 are non-league games. So, we have a few league games, that are going to be home and some that are going to be away. But we're going to be rolling into our schedule. So it's much easier, in my opinion, to play at home. You're sleeping in your own bed. You're getting up. You're going to be playing there. You got to face adversity. You're playing on some, fields that are grass fields and some that are turf. So it just gives you some ability to bond, get together, and see what you got on the road. And, so when you come back home, you're ready to roll and you're ready into your league schedule.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Athletic Director Gavin Regan. Let's clap it up for him.
Sticking around?
Yes.
All right, joining us next in the hot seat, I guess you would call it, is going to be junior varsity head coach Ed Latham. Now, funny enough, whenever I see Ed out at football practice, I always see him on the cart, and it is in transition to wherever he is going next. So I really haven't had a chance to really talk to him too much. But Ed, first, thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. And, it's the goal with this show to be able to highlight all the different levels levels of Raider football, which includes your JV and your modified, because those kids are the future of the program, obviously. But I want to first start off by talking about you, Ed. What is your connection to Massena Raider football, and why does it mean so much to you?
Well, my connection to football started when I was in probably minor football, growing up in Ogdensburg, listening to my dad, talk about all the great Nicholas teams that he played against, and just looking up to Massena with all the records that they had, and the people that are in the program. And then fortunate enough 31 years ago to get the job here. The first thing I did was go seek out Martha Slack and ask her if there's any openings, and she told me to go talk to Tony D. And I know Tony's home right now battling COVID, so Tony, if you're listening, get well soon. We're all thinking about you.
Ed, as far as the university program is concerned, I know I believe you guys have already gotten a couple games in.
Yep.
So give us kind of a recap of those games and what you're learning about your team so far.
Well, we're a very young team. It's a big transition for these kids over the summer, coming from junior high school to high school, and going from modified to the JV rules, which are more like the varsity rules. And the games went well. Getting hit by the injury bug a little bit, but we got a big test this weekend up in Beekmantown. The kids are excited to take the road trip and see how they do things up there, and we'll have them ready, and it's got to be the next man mentality.
For sure. Now, as far as the Beekmantown game is concerned, you guys are obviously playing, I do believe, right before the varsity squad. So I'm sure that it would mean a lot to you to see people, come out early, be there for the JV, and then stay for the varsity game, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. We kick off at 4 o'clock, so we tell people to get up there at that time. But, we'd love to see people there if they can make it.
Now, Ed, as far as football strategy is concerned, I know you're not going to give me too much. I understand that, but every coach has their own distinct style. So what would you say your style is? We'll start with offense, then go to defense. What is your style, and how do people know, outside of just scoring touchdowns, how do people know when things are going the way that you want them to go, right?
Yeah, well, this is going out to all the varsity coaches I've had over the years. I've been happy with the JVs. The JV is, my coaching idol, Tim Valley. He's a JV coach, and that's where I wanted to be, and that's where I wanted to stay. And working for Tony and Alzy and Tim Hayes and Anthony and Nick Zappia and now Taylor. I think in my 31 years, I have gone through probably 10 offenses.
Okay.
So it changes. So every year, including this year, I had to learn a new one. And this one is more like the wing tee that Tony put in, many years ago when I got here. So my philosophy is, just teach these kids and get them ready for the varsity. Defensively, it's pretty similar. And Jimmy and Sean work well with the defense together. And again, getting with the JV versus the modified, there's some rules that they have to follow where they can't play the same offense we're doing or the same defense we're doing. But
Ed, as far as the players on your team, and I'll have you hold the microphone like this, my friend, that way everybody can hear you. Okay. So, as far as the players on your team, obviously it takes a whole team to get the victory at the end of the day. Feel free to talk about the whole team if you want to talk about the whole team. That's what this whole show is about. But give us some players that are doing really well this year, and maybe some players that maybe aren't doing the whole stat thing, but they're really, really solid at practicing in the classroom. Who sticks out to you?
There's a lot of them. You look at my list right here. I have 38 kids. And looking down the list, I've had a lot where I've coached dad or had mom and dad as students. I had Casey here as a student. I had Jason as a student the first year here. Jimmy helped me out. Taylor was one of my students. Maddox Mary, Michael Gardner. Pretty much the whole varsity staff. I don't know who else I've missed. Anyone else that I missed on the varsity? As far as all the kids in Massena, the beauty of Massena football is, we got kids from every street in this town here, and just because you're a good quarterback doesn't make you a good lineman. So football has room for everybody, and we like seeing a lot of people coming out for the team this year. And just a few years back, it wasn't that way.
And who are some of the players on this year's squad that stick out to you?
Okay, so you want me to give you some names? Well, what I have for captains, I have Hunter Smith. Hunter, transitioned from receiver to a running back this year. He's really taken a good leadership role. I have Mason Felix, who's also defensively changed positions and taken a big leadership role. Colton Henry, someone who didn't play much last year, has been nominated captain. Him and Mr. Bogart there, Luke Bogart. So I didn't want to go up with his brother, but I nominated those guys captain. And then we have a really solid quarterback in Jacob Page, who's a 9th grader.
Okay. Now, Coach, looking ahead on the season, you had said earlier that Ogdensburg is kind of where it started for you. So I feel like this is a really silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I'm assuming when you guys play Ogdensburg, that's got to mean a lot to you, right?
It does mean a lot, because I know from them in the blue what it means to play and beat Massena. It's a statement game, no matter what the record is. And as recently as 2 days ago, I get reminded from the staff that I'm from Ogdensburg. and then when I get to Ogdensburg, I get reminded that you left Ogdensburg to come to Massena. But, it's just, it's a great town. I love football, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
All right, Coach Latham, I got 2 more questions for you, then we'll switch it over to Casey here. So, obviously this weekend, Beekmantown. Mm-hmm. What do you see from them, and what are you trying to attack? Because I don't see any Beekmantown scouts in the audience, so I think we're safe.
Well, we watch them. They run a 4 defense. They pack it in inside. So try and get outside, try and get out to the flats with some passes, and when they open it up, probably we'll go inside. Most of the time it's work it inside and try and get outside, but probably switch that around this weekend if they're not listening.
Okay. All right, perfect. And last question for you, kind of one that I ask all the coaches. It's literally a softball question, but your message to Raider Nation as you're hoping to get some, and by the way, that 4 p.m. start time, right?
Correct.
4 p.m. start time for the JV squad up at Beekmantown. Don't miss out on that game. And Ed, what's your message to Raider Nation for that JV game?
Just come out and support them. Support these student athletes. They're trying hard. They're excited about it. This is their first time playing out of section, and we support them. And I'm really proud of this group.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is junior varsity head coach Ed Latham. Let's clap it up for him. All right, we have gotten down to the final coach of the evening that we're going to chat with. It is Mr. Casey Simonds, and we're very excited to be talking with Casey on the show. By the way, thank you everybody for being quiet and hearing what these guys have to say. I really appreciate that. Wasn't sure how that would go with a live show. You never know. No hecklers though, which is nice. So, Casey, you are our offensive line and defensive line coach, my friend. And what is your connection to Massena football? Why does it mean so much to you?
Yeah, I've been playing football here in Massena for quite a few years, going from minors, majors, modified all the way up, and Massena football means a lot to me. It's just a great tradition and great support from the community, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it now as a coach, and I can't wait to see where our season takes us.
Now, my friend, obviously you have a connection with this program, but it's my understanding, if I remember, now this was said at the last football banquet down at the fire department last year, so bear with me if I don't get this exactly right, okay? But it is my understanding that you joined this coaching staff at a gas station?
At a gas station?
That's what I was told, that Taylor saw you at a gas station and said, man, you got to do this, you got to be a part of this, right?
Yeah, Taylor, Coach Zapp, he approached me a few times. I know Coach Morrow was in and out of my office at work too, egging me on, and I'm just so glad that at the end of the day I decided to join, and had the privilege to do that, and these guys welcomed me in, and it's just been really great. But yeah, it's been a journey.
Puts a whole new spin on 20 on 3, right? Said hi?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Casey, as far as your coaching style is concerned, what would you say so that people kind of know like how you approach the kids? Because I know obviously you're dealing with kids that are from 9th grade all the way up to seniors, and you're teaching them a very hard position in offensive line and defensive line. So how do you attack that, my friend?
Yeah, it's tough. You have kids that have all skill levels and different abilities, and really I think just focusing in on fundamentals. I think you got to start there. Just making sure that everyone's aligned on that. Things as basic as stance and get offs and our keys on our blocks. Just working through each group with those fundamentals is really important. I think if you can nail those, everything kind of falls into place. So.
Now, Casey, as far as your offensive line this year, my friend, I know at the beginning of the year we were talking about, hey, we finally have depth. So do we still have depth? Because I know teams are going to go through some injuries. And how do you feel about your offensive line this year, knowing that they have to work on a brand new offensive system that they're trying to get down, right?
Yeah, it was tough in the beginning, a bit of a learning curve for us coaches and, the players as well. But I think they have adjusted well. We've had a few people, out for, our last couple of games, but some of the younger guys have really stepped up and into positions and been able to move around and have learned different spots. So the guys have been great and have adjusted really well. And I'm really psyched to have some depth because it just gives you more options on where you can move people around and make people the most effective in their role. So it's really good.
All right, so we heard Gavin talking earlier, Casey, about how important it is to play these non-league games and to play these tough opponents up front. You are obviously dealing with the trenches. So what have you learned about your offensive line and defensive line over the last 2 weeks, and where are you hoping to see some improvement as we head towards Beekmantown?
Yeah, I think we, our first game we started out a little rough. We had, monsoon conditions there. It was tough to judge, but coming into our second game with Governor, I saw some improvement there, and these guys have been getting better every week, and that's really exciting to see. And I just want them to keep working hard every practice and improve and just want to get better. And I've seen some really, really good things with our line. They're getting low, they're being explosive, and that's really exciting to see.
Now, Casey, a couple more questions for you, my friend, then we'll get you going here. So, when you are first looking at an opponent, explain to people who don't know, what are you looking for on tape? Offensive line, defensive line wise, because for a normal casual football fan, it just looks like organized chaos whenever the ball snaps. So what are you looking at to try to figure out how to attack an opponent?
Yeah, really just looking for, where their speed is, size, and looking for those key players, maybe those more athletic linemen, on that team that are pulling and, kicking out, that have that natural, ability to see their block and execute it. You pick out those players and, try to match your guys up against them, and, even if you have to shift your line and move positions, and but that's what you're looking for is just those guys that have that athletic ability right on the line, that have the speed that can be a threat to your scheme. So.
Now, Casey, as far as players on your line are concerned, obviously it takes the entire unit to get it done. We understand that. But give us one player that you're really excited about because of what they're doing on the field, and give us one player who maybe, is working on, being as best as they can be on the field, but you already see it in practice in the way their attitude is. Might even be the same player, but try to give us a couple players here that really deserve some credit.
Yeah, I think someone I pick out is Darren Coates. He's been an absolute menace on the line. When he can stay under control and execute things the way they need to be done, and bring other players up, he's awesome on the field to have as a leader. And we have a couple new guys that came up this year. One I would pick out, when I watch him on the D-line playing nose is Stoll. He's just been an animal. He's made a lot of great plays last game, when watching film, and I'm just excited to see him grow, and it's good.
Casey, as far as the relationship here, and obviously this is a question that I'm sure all the varsity coaches will answer the same way, my friend. So, but how important is it to have that JV squad coached by Ed Latham, to have the modified, I believe coached by Anthony D'Agostino? Like, how important is it to have that where these kids kind of already know the offense, they already know what you're doing by the time they get to you?
Yeah, I think it's great to have, each of the programs aligned and, going through and executing their fundamentals and our plays, and hopefully we stay aligned, and by the time they get to the varsity level, we can change things up and do some really great things with them. And in practice we don't have a lot of time, right? So if they're already in tune with our our program and how we run things and our expectations, then it's great. And I know Coach D'Agostino, Coach Latham are going to do a great job, and they have. And I was so grateful to have them as my coaches coming up. So they're in great hands, and I'm really excited to see these young guys come up.
All right, Casey. Last question for Casey here. Then we're going to bring Gavin Regan back up because I almost forgot about something, and I don't think he'd forgive me. So, Casey, last question for you, my friend. It's a T-ball one. Raiders playing Beekmantown, 7 o'clock Friday night. What's your message to Raider Nation?
Yeah, come support the team. Having a strong community around these guys means a lot. The support has been awesome so far, through the football club and all the parents and the radio. I mean, it's been great. I mean, just get out there and support the boys and, give them some confidence. I think we're ready for them.
All right, so again, the varsity team is playing 7 o'clock on Friday night. You can hear that game on WMSA Radio, but even better, get there, wear something red. I've been telling people on the radio, it's a takeover tour. We got 5 road games, so we got to make sure that all those road games feel like Massena home games. We're going to bring Gavin Regan back up here before we, put a bow on this first coach's show. And hey, clap it up for Casey Simonds. Almost forgot about that. All right, so Gavin, I got to give Gavin a lot of credit. He's not going to like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. So we got to give Gavin a lot of credit because I do not own a Raiders football helmet. I do not own Raiders football jerseys. That's a hint, by the way. And I certainly don't own a trophy that is 90 years old. So, Ed, I'll have you toss that over here to Gavin. Gavin, 2 hands on the ball at all times. Gavin, as far as this trophy is concerned, tell us the story about it because this is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just something that I've kept in my office. It was in our trophy case, but I've kept in our office. It's a trophy from 1934. It says the Kiwanis Club of Ogdensburg presented to the Northern New York Interscholastic Football League champions, and it was this trophy is 1934. And in the back it has Franklin Academy 34, Canton 35, Massena 36, 37, and 38. And then they went on to a different ball. But this trophy's 90 years old. And it just goes to show of the tradition of football in the North Country, and obviously the great tradition that we've had here in Massena for a long, long time. So, I mean, it's just important to our community. And Elijah, thanks for doing this for our team and our community. And obviously, I got to thank Bill and his staff here at the Gristmill for hosting us. Thank you.
All right, so very, very cool trophy. So after we're done here in just a second, you feel free to come up, take photos with the helmet, the trophy, the jerseys. Like I said, we want to have a lot of photos from this first live coaches show. And again, it's our intention to continue to do these throughout the season. We do want to thank Gristmill Brewery for hosting us tonight. We look forward to them hosting us in the future as well. And again, it's called the Coaches Show because we don't know what coaches are going to be available week to week, but we hope to get these guys back up here with me at some point, and even more coaches as we try to show love to all of the kids through all the different divisions of football, whether it's varsity, modified, or JV. I'm going to ask you guys to participate in something real quick. This is either going to go really good or really bad, Gavin, okay? So on the count of 3, I need your loudest "Go Raiders," okay? 1, 2, 3.
Go Raiders!
Perfect. We'll use that. All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.